Close the doors. My wife and I used to have a bad and foolish habit of neglecting to lock the door behind us when we returned home. It was a careless oversight that led to a series of unsettling incidents. We would wake up in the morning only to discover that we had slept through the night with the door left unlocked. This carelessness sparked heated debates as we tried to determine who was the last to enter and who should bear the greater responsibility. One night, a powerful gust of wind blew open our front door, causing it to slam against the frame. We were startled and shaken by the incident, but unfortunately, the habit of leaving the door unlocked persisted. It wasn't until a particular incident occurred that forever changed our behavior and made us realize the importance of securing our home. Late one night, gripped by an unexplained compulsion, I decided to check the front door. Despite my reluctance to leave the warmth of our bed, I felt an insistent need to ensure the door was locked. I made my way to the corridor and attempted to push the door, only to discover, once again, that it had been left unlocked. Frustrated and concerned, I turned the top key 4 full rotations, and curiously, I repeated the action with the unused bottom lock. As I took a couple of steps towards our room, I heard peculiar sounds emanating from the other side of the door. It was as if someone were running their palms along its surface, trying to familiarize themselves with its texture. A blind person discovering an unfamiliar obstacle. Startled, I swiftly turned around, determined to at least glance through the peephole. Approaching the door, I noticed the doorknob moving up and down, as if someone were attempting to gain entry. Then, an eerie and irregular knocking sound reverberated through the air, sending a shiver down my spine. A sudden chill washed over me, and my heart felt gripped not by fear or horror, but by an indescribable sense of melancholy and foreboding. An inexplicable, hazy unease crept into my soul. Although I yearned to peer through the peephole, I cautiously began circling the room instead. My wife, awakened by the commotion, was poised to speak. However, I motioned for her to remain silent, and her widened eyes indicated she sensed that something was amiss. I recollected a device that had remained largely forgotten, an almost unused security camera installed to monitor the courtyard, connected to our computer. It had been a gift from my brother, who worked for a company specializing in video surveillance systems. Now, its relevance resurfaced in my mind. I settled in front of the computer, eagerly accessing the live feed from the courtyard. What we witnessed was beyond comprehension. A figure cloaked and tattered, dark rags emerged on the screen, contorting and swaying unnaturally as it wandered the courtyard. It scraped and tugged at our door, all the while tilting its head and listening intently to the sounds emanating from within neighboring apartments. It even peered through the peephole. Its elongated, bony fingers protruded from the rags, casting an eerie shadow. Several times, it approached our door, lingering ominously. A profound sense of dread enveloped us. Tears streamed down my wife's face as she bit the edge of the sheet to stifle any sound. Eventually, the mysterious entity slithered away into the dimly lit street, where the early July dawn was slowly emerging. If we were living in a rural setting, we would have been the first roosters to crow. It took us hours to regain our composure. I regret that my wife saw it. She is still recovering, and I can see that she is terrified. Yesterday, she asked me to change the apartment. Well, it's still a rental, and I don't feel comfortable here either. I keep thinking about what would have happened